Welcome back on board of the 1st-Relief product and support channel. You're looking for improvements for your yacht or ship? Well, you're absolutely right here at our TV channel.
Hi folks, Jeff Browner here from VersaChock. Here today to show you how to install our tilting davit systems. So each of our davit kits, you're going to receive two of the tilting davit arms, which are removable, as well as you're going to receive four threaded deck plates. These deck plates are going to be mounted to the deck permanently, as well as you're going to receive the bolts that attach the davit arms into the threaded deck plates. And that's all that's needed to hold them in place. You're also going to receive an owner's manual with your kit, as well as some installation tips and a diagram showing you how everything gets laid out in the kit as well. Now, what you're going to need to install the kit is you're going to need 12 number 10 screws. Of course, you want to make sure you get the right length to go through your decking, as well as lock nuts and backing washers, which we prefer to use and recommend a 3/4 inch diameter. Seems to work very well. As far as tools, just some general tools, you're going to need a 3/16 drill bit, 3/4 inch hole saw, and a countersinking bit, as well as some tape, marker and pencil, drill, and a tape measure. And of course, some good marine sealant to help seal everything up when you install the deck plates. So, without further ado, we can get started on our install here. So, the first thing we want to do in trying to figure out where we want to put our tilting davits is to figure out how we want to locate the tender on the platform. So there's a few different methods of how to do this. What we're going to show you today is fairly detailed, and it should at least give you some good references of how you can get your proper location set up. So the first thing we want to do is figure out where we're going to place the tender on the platform. So we do have a rigid hull tender here I'm going to bring into the picture. And what we can show you is that you want to make sure your tender is completely within the beam of the boat. So you don't want any kind of water coming around the sides and catch your outboard or the bow. So what we're going to first do is try to take a measurement to get from where the back of the outboard skeg is going to be to the transom of our tender. That'll give us a good start point to figure out, where we'll be able to locate the tender on the boat. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a measurement from the back tip of the outboard, and we're going to go to the transom of the tender, and I'm going to eyeball it basically right to the bottom here, because we know that's where the tender is going to be resting on the davits and on the platform there. So we're going to take a measurement here, and this is going to be 30 inches. I'm going to move these out of the way just for the time being here. So now what I'm going to do is take that measurement from the outboard back to the transom, and that's going to be 30 inches, so take a mark right about here. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a pause here, because what I want to show you guys is I want to get this rib flipped over upside down, so I can show you kind of how the davits are going to be placed on the bottom of the rigid hull here. So if you bear with me just a minute, I'm going to get this flipped over and we'll continue the installation. Okay, now we're back. All right, so the next thing we want to do, I want to show you, you may or may not want to flip your rib upside down, or may not have the ability to if it has a console or whatever. But I do want to show you, just for reference, how these are going to be able to be placed on the bottom of the hull. So I'm going to set this one right about here, and the front davit, we're going to want to go right about here. Let's take a measurement. We know that this was supposed to be it looks like we're right at 5 inches there. So I'm going to take and put a mark 5 inches from the 30 inches. So I know my measurement I took here, we were at 30, and then another 5 to the aft davit. And now I'm going to take a dimension between these two here, and I'm right at about 32. And so I'm going to go from the center. This is my first davit center line at the aft. I'm going to do my 32 inches, put another mark right here, and that's going to be my front davit. So now I know that my two davits are going to be here and here. Okay, so I'm all done with the tender now. So the next step is going to be laying out the deck plates, and then we install the deck plates. So let's do this. We're going to get these out of the way. So what I like to do is I like to put a nice tape line for the center line of my davits and eyeball them and then measure them, make sure they're parallel. And I'm going to eyeball a nice line, and I like to use the right side of my tape as the center line of my davit, because that's exactly where I measured them from. So I'm going to put another one on the forward one here. Oops, let's do that again. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so those are where the center lines of my davits are going to be. Now the next step is going to be figuring out where my deck plates are going to be located. All right, so each of the davit arms, look here, have 4 holes. 2 on the fore side and then 2 on the aft side. So what we're going to do, each arm uses 2 deck plates, and we like to stagger them. So we're going to put one deck plate on one side of the davit arm, and then going towards the other end, we're going to put it on the opposite side. Okay, and the reason why we put 4 holes here is no matter how you install these on your platform, the deck plates, if you ever want to move these, interchange them, you're not going to have to worry about moving your deck plates. So you're only going to use 2 out of the 4 holes. The other thing to keep in mind when we're locating these is that each one of these slats on the davit arms are 1 inches. So I know the spacing side to side for my deck plates is going to be 2 inches. All right, so in the install diagram that we provide, we define the location for the first deck plate near the edge of the platform needs to be about 1.25 inches back from the edge of the platform. So I'm going to make a mark 1.25 inches from the edge of the platform, and then this deck plate I want to be on that side of the davit arm. So I'm going to go for my center line. I'm just going to go over 1 inch and make a mark. So that's going to set the location for that deck plate. So now I know the one that is going to be forward toward in the boat position is going to be on the opposite side. And according to the diagram we provide, the spacing from the front deck plate to the back deck plate is going to be 20.25 inches. So if I add that to the 1.25 inch setback we had here, 21.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and put a mark here, 21.5 inches back, spacing between my deck plates. And then from the center of the davit over this way, I want to go 1 inch. Okay, that's going to set the locations for those 2 deck plates. Now I want to do the same exact thing for the other side. So we're going to take a quick break, move some of this stuff out of the way, and we'll bring the camera in so we can show you a close-up how we install the deck plates next. And we're back. We're going to use a 3/4 inch bit. Basically, you want to make sure you're going just a little bit, just a tad bigger than this plug, so you're going to have clearance to be able to get your holes for your number 10 screws. All right, so here we go. Since we're most likely going to be going through gel coat into fiberglass, which this is just wood for our presentation, a tip is to normally start in reverse and try to get through your gel coat before you start drilling forward. And then you can go forward, and then we're going to just drill right on through. Okay, oops, bit came loose there. Wanted it out anyway so we can put the next bit in. All right, so now I'm going to put my 3/16 inch bit, which is going to be for my next holes, which we're going to mark here. So this drops in nice and tight here. So the way I like to orientate it, I just prefer to have my holes orientated this way. It just looks nice, and also it gives us a tad more clearance from the edge to these bottom holes here. So I'm just going to take a Sharpie and be careful I do not get any mark on my nice polished stainless steel here. Mark each of these 3 holes. Again, if you're going through gel coat, you're going to want to go in reverse first and then go forward. Now another tip, of course this is wood for the presentation, but when I'm working with decking that has gel coat, I like to use a countersunk bit and just round off the edges a little bit. That's going to help prevent any chipping of the gel coat. Okay, so we're ready to install the plug. Next thing you're going to want to do is to take a good marine sealant, maybe a 5200, this happens to be a Starbreak 8200, whatever your choice. And I like to use this in each one of the holes, as well as the deck plug hole here too. And what I like to do is take one of these, it's just a kebab skewer, works nicely. I can actually work all of the sealant and coat all of the lamination here to make sure that if any water, moisture ever did get in, it's not going to delaminate your glass. And then finally, I like to put a bead of sealant right around the outside here, so when I put the deck plug in, I'm going to be able to get this sealed out too. You don't want any water getting trapped underneath there, etc. So next thing we're going to do is just drop in our number 10 screws. We're going to get our backer washers and lock nuts on here. We're going to pause the camera. We're going to go ahead and finish up these other 3, and we'll get back with move the cameras out, and we can show you how we install the davits in the final steps. Okay, we're back again. All right, so we have all of our deck plates installed. So the only thing left to do is pop our tilting davits in place with the 2 bolts. The big bolt is going to go towards the edge of the platform here, and the shorter bolt is going to go forward. So we're just going to get these located on the threaded deck plates, get them started here. And we're going to use a ratchet to make it a little bit quicker to tighten these down. Okay, that's it. So our installation is complete. Double check, make sure they tilt nicely. Everything seems to work fine. Be sure to add adequate tie downs to secure your watercraft, and your installation is complete. Thanks for watching.